Okay, so I'm with Emily Farish. She's a dear friend of mine, and she has Farish acupuncture. And Emily, how long have you been in practice?
So, hi Sabrina, I'm so happy to
Hi,
be here.
I'm happy to be
I've
here too.
practiced around 5 or 6 years, probably 6 years. 6 years, yes. And I love it. I love helping people feel better. My whole passion, basically, when we have healthier, happier people, we have better relationships, we sleep better, society changes. Everybody, when you feel good, things happen, right? Things,
True.
and this is why I got into it in the first place. So,
And you're so good at it.
oh, thank you. Well, I know it's tricky because I was telling a patient today, I know it's foreign, no pun intended, but this is like a 5,000-year-old medicine. And it's really been around, and it really shines in the prevention realm in terms of helping people to repair, to sleep better, to get out of pain. There's so much science behind the validity of acupuncture, which is why it's been around for so long. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And a lot of people are afraid of needles. So how do you help people? And I'm one of those people. So I can do acupuncture needles, but if the dentist comes around, I close my eyes. If they take my blood, I turn my head and close my eyes. But I can do the acupuncture needles. So how are you able to overcome that with patients that have the fear of needles?
Oh, absolutely. And my other half is the person who is the most scared, or scared of all needles that I've ever met. So, and now he gets acupuncture. So,
On TV even.
right. So even, this is the most amazing thing is that, the needles, they're tiny. They're like the width of a human hair or a little cat whisker. They're single one-time use, sterilized. They go to needle heaven after you. So, and my hands never even come in contact with the needle, only the handle. Right. And so it's very, very quick. You're not injecting anything or taking anything out. So, because what it's doing is it works with the peripheral nervous system to talk to the brain about where to send all these amazing hormones and neurotransmitters and blood flow to help heal an area. So you don't have to have something go in deeply in order to have the effect, because we're really talking to our computer, which is the brain, the commander of everything else. So, yeah.
Wonderful, beautifully said. And you are like, it's like watching somebody dance when you put those needles in. You have a rhythm to you. It's really fun to watch. And so when you were working on Tom, my husband, that was really fun to watch you put the needles in, and he fell asleep every single time. And I really have to thank you, because your herbs, truly, and the acupuncture are why he was able to quit and stay off of chewing tobacco after 36 years. So that is huge. Yes, I know. I'm so proud of him. It is. And now you're helping my brother and my sister-in-law with their stopping smoking after I don't even know how many years. So they are still lovely to live with. So thank you for that.
I'm so happy to hear that.
Yes.
And quitting smoking is such a huge challenge for people. And the main thing is those sugar cravings. People feel really irritable because the body goes into this overload of basically releasing endotoxins. So you need to hydrate, and basically the herbs go in and they're so anti-inflammatory, and they're also, curtailed to each person, because each person walks in with a different medical history, different background, this and that. So it's not just, this one herb for your lungs or whatever, not at all. And that's why people can have remarkable success when I'm able to work with them and help them, to quit smoking. It doesn't work for everybody. I mean, they don't taste like Godiva, chocolate, Sabrina.
Right. Well, we're encapsulating them. Thank God for encapsulation.
But people will say, God, I have so much energy. I feel so much better. So the whole process of really saying no and quitting smoking becomes such a smooth one for people.
It's amazing, because they tried to quit a few months back without your support, and it was not the same. I remember day 3, not happy campers, and just really sleeping all the time, the eating thing like you mentioned. Yes. It was really, really painful. So that this has been a different experience, and I know that they've got it this time. So that's huge.
Improving your health, because why do we, Why do we need to quit smoking? Because we want to live long, healthy lives, quality lives, and we don't want to, I don't know if I'm in a, different one, but we don't necessarily want to be totally attached to something. And it's expensive.
It is expensive in so many ways.
Yeah. And they even said that for every they were looking at the cost of cigarette smoking over a year period, that basically you could send your child, to college, over how many years of just smoking, granted, I know cost of prison, but
Sure.
Nevertheless, it is something where you're one, buying years into your life.
More importantly.
Saving so much money. So it's like, oh, okay, great.
And it's a time suck too. People who smoke don't really realize how much time they spend in that activity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's just so many facets to it. So what kind of clients do you really enjoy working with?
Oh gosh. So, oh my gosh, that's a really hard question, Sabrina, because I love people so much.
Yes, you do.
It's really about figuring out a puzzle, like, okay, so how does this body respond and how can we get this person to feel better? And truly, I love people who are just really motivated, super ready. I get, I've had people who've had loss of smell, chemically induced. I've had people who have all different types of neuropathies, idiopathic, meaning they don't know the origin, they just have it. People obviously who are in pain. People who, a lot of autoimmune conditions where there's pain, the acupuncture is extremely helpful. A lot of trouble sleeping, people who just are too tired, right? And they can't turn the mind off, right? And so there's too much stress going on. And this is where either acupuncture or herbal medicine can really go in to help soothe that chronic low-grade stress response, right, that's causing it. Because you can take something for sleep, right? Oh, this is for sleep. But they may not actually be helping you specifically. And this is where Chinese medicine really does shine, to cater it to the individual, right? So that you can really start sleeping and feeling better, right? And
exactly. There's so many sleep-deprived people,
I know,
as you know, and with what Jason does as well.
Yeah. My fiance is a sleep researcher, so we talk about sleep all the time. And even though I, knock on wood or table, I have no sleeping issues. Good. Thank you, I don't. But I work with people because I know what it means. If I have even just 7 hours for me personally, I'm not on my game and I need it. So I know what it's like. People are getting 5, 3, 4. I see the whole gamut. And everyone is unique and different. Some people, they've been a veteran, right? They have chronic PTSD, which I'm very passionate about treating. Some people have several injuries. Some people, it's just they're studying to be a doctor, right? They're in medical school. Other people,
new moms.
New moms, yeah. Digestive issues. Sometimes it's that. Sometimes they're eating too light, or different things. So it's really about piecing, okay, so what's happening here and how can I serve these people so that they start to feel better?
Absolutely. You do such a good job. And one of the first things you did for me when I met you, and it was down in River Park Square, is you did the pulse diagnosis. Do you want to explain what that is?
Yes. And most people obviously don't know because they may go to their acupuncturists and say, oh, okay, yeah, they kind of felt my wrist, but they'll say different things. So I'm trained in a very specific technique, and it really looks into width, depth, and amplitude of the radial artery on the left and right wrist. And you can take someone's blood pressure, for example, or count beats per minute. That's very pertinent. It's very important information. But 5,000 years ago, or even, the Chinese didn't have CAT scans, MRIs, or petri dishes to look into, or microscopes. So they had to figure out specifically, how do we keep the emperor alive past 100? That was the most important person. Obviously there are other important people, but anyway, this is the case. So they had to figure out a diagnostic tool that helped them to decipher what acupuncture and or herbal medicines they would compound for the emperor. So I will read the pulse in about 17 different positions, and I will actually be able to explain to a person, this is what's happening, this is the root cause of your sleep, is that there's, we need to work with the digestive system, or there's some sinus congestion. Have you had your sinuses looked at? Have you had any imaging? Or there's a neck issue. A lot of times people don't know because they're so fatigued, not feeling so good, that it's kind of like a swamp right? Just this fuzzy feeling. So the pulse diagnosis, really goes into hone in on the major factors or cofactors to a person's, major complaint. And that's because so many people can become frustrated because they'll go to their primary care and say, well, I've got this and this, and they'll say, oh, everything's normal. And I'll tell people, well, that's great. It's fantastic. It means that you're not dying and there's not an emergency, right, happening. And that's a beautiful thing. However, this is where Chinese medicine really shines, coupled with the pulse diagnosis, is I can decipher which organ systems are at play. Someone may be talking to me about their fatigue or sleep. It's not always adrenals, right? Or it's not always, low-grade sympathetic response. It can be other factors, but the reading will actually help me to choose the compounding herbs that I would make for a person or the acupuncture protocol. So it gets very specific, very fast. So I'm not just listening to your symptoms. I'm actually reading also what the internal medicine from the Chinese medicine diagnostics, which is so amazing because people start to feel better so much more quickly. Right?
It is. It works, and it's non-invasive, and you're so well trained in it. And everybody I know that you've been able to do the pulse diagnosis on is like, that is a trip that she knows that about me, because you're able to they don't quite understand. They can't wrap their brain around it, but they understand and believe that it's true and it's accurate. So it's really fun to watch people experience you and doing what you do.
It's amazing. And I remember I was at the health fair and I was reading a pulse and I said, you must go to your doctor right away. And I said, you've got some sort of, there's something going on, with the circulatory system, heart issue. I don't know what it is, but you need to go see your doctor. Well, this person went to their doctor and then she gave me a call. I said, please call me and follow up with me. And she called me, she said, yes, they're doing more imaging and I'm a candidate for open heart surgery.
Thank goodness that you got your hands on her and that she actually listened to you.
Absolutely. And I always tell people I'm not Dr. Mary here, but the readings are very, very specific and extremely helpful. And so I'm also trained in knowing you have to send someone, right, to go to their primary care right away. It's not, Chinese medicine acupuncture isn't a cure-all. I don't cure anything. I just help someone to feel better. And I can also decipher, you actually don't need to come see me. You need to go and see somebody and get some imaging and see this. Because
absolutely,
the end result is helping people, truly.
Right, and helping the body to do what it does really well, and that's heal when it's supported correctly. Yeah, that's awesome. So Emily, how can people get a hold of you?
So for me, you can either call me. You can email me. I'm a tech dinosaur, so the best way to get a hold of me, and I mean this with a lot of love towards myself, is to call me. I am definitely a person to say, hi, how are you? Yes. People also come and meet me in my clinic. We have a conversation to see if it's a fit, right, to work together. I'm a firm believer in having a mutual or dual decision making. And if I feel that they're a candidate, right, I will tell them. And if not, then I'll say, okay, go here or there. But absolutely call me. That's the best.
And what's your number?
509-217-9262.
Okay, and you're in the Jefferson Building on the Lower South Hill?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And you're booked out a wee little bit now?
Yes, I am, which is great. And I'm always wanting to meet people because, hey, my job is to help people feel better.
Exactly.
And when things are great, then I find others who I can help. So yes.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for your time. It's so fun to see you and to share you with others.
Yes, Sabrina, it's such a pleasure. I so love you. So yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.